What is up, everybody? It's 3:09. Yes, I fixed my time. Oddly enough, now it's moving ahead of that one. But whatever. It's 3:09. It's the 25th of January. It's a Wednesday. You guys probably won't see this till February, knowing me the way I'm going, but hey, it's what it is. It's raining. Ooh, the KPA is under 1,000 for a change. 48% humidity inside at 18 degrees. 95% humidity outside, which doesn't mean anything, and 8 degrees. Yes, 8 degrees Celsius above freezing. Snow? What fucking snow? There ain't no snow here. Actually, there's still some snow. You know, there's a big pile there. Basically, anywhere there's a big pile of snow, there's still snow. But other than that, as you can see, not a hell of a lot. You see some banks over there at work and up the sides of the road, but other than that, whoa, man, this camera fucks me up. I was just trying to wipe this thing off my head here, but it's like reversed. I don't know. It's like if you were looking at me and were watching me, you'd see me. I don't even know how to explain it, but man, this camera fucks me up. So I'm gonna, oh geez, I'm getting another light. Hold on, guys. Here, let's change the light here so you can see my ugly mug some more. So yeah, I was going to talk again about a little bit today about toll highways. Seems to be a big thing right now around my area. They're talking about tolling the highways. Well, what they want to do is they want to twin the highways. They can't afford to twin the highways because, lo and behold, our government sucks and blows all our money on stupid shit. Anyways, that's our provincial government. Our federal government's a whole different story. But anyways, I'm not getting into all that. What I am getting into is that toll highways suck. And I do not agree with this idea of putting toll highways in. Putting toll highways in could be very, very bad for this area. Now, a lot of you probably don't know much about my area, but I live in a province that has a declining population. And with that declining population, of course, is a declining tax revenue. All of that put together, it's not a good ticket. Our economy here is pretty much screwed anyways. I don't know what is even holding us together at this point. It's getting worse and worse too, for the fact that all the younger people, my age, younger, even some of the older ones, all went out west or are going out west or are out west or are going out west. Why? Because there's the money. You know, it's easier to live, it's easier to get a job, so of course it's a no-brainer. But so many people have done that for so long now that probably half of Nova Scotia is in Alberta, and it's just going to get worse, because if you drive up, like just the tolls alone, okay, you may or may not have to pay the tolls, you know, every day or anything, but you will. A lot of people don't realize if there's tolls, well, all the goods and services you buy at the local grocery store all have to go up. All the gas, beer, you know, all that stuff goes up. Basically, everything is going to go up. Why? Because you got, man, I look kind of weird. There. Sorry, guys. It's just bothering me. But, yeah, it seems like a recipe for disaster for me. I really don't see the really good sides to it. Yes, we'll have nice roads. It'll, you know, you can go a little faster, and, you know, a couple of people won't die. That is good, but, you know, in the grand scheme of things, it's not going to make that huge difference. A couple deaths a year. You know, there's a hell of a lot more places where money could be spent, and probably a lot more lives saved that way. Not to mention, they keep going on and on about all these people killed on the highway, but they never talk about the people killed on the side roads or the tertiary roads, or even further down the list, like the road I live on. The road I live off of, like I'm on a dead-end road, off of tertiary road, off a secondary road, off a highway. So, I'm way out there. But, I mean, I've seen down around this area, you know, there's close to one death a year, at least, on the tertiary highway I live on. And it's what, for 40 kilometers, 45 kilometers, the whole stretch of highway. So that tells you, you know, 45 kilometers, there's a death a year in a place that's fairly rural. and doesn't have a huge amount of traffic, that road is dangerous as fuck. And it is, because it's got a high speed limit, the roads are not well maintained, in spots that are not well built. You know, a lot of other things too people don't realize. You know, when you go off the side of the road here and go into the ocean, it's a little different than, you know, if you just fender bend into somebody. But anyways, I just see these whole tolls as being a total recipe for disaster. I mean, can't you? Yes, sure, ooh, nice roads, but sorry, not at the cost of, you know, Billy Joe Bob down the road has to shut his business down. Why? Because he can no longer afford to export and import his product, or export his product and import his supplies, because there's tolls, and he can't afford to pay the toll on all the services or all the goods that he's getting. Right there you go, there's one guy. Right? And how many times is that going to happen? Well, next thing you know, you got, you know, 1,000 Billy Joe Bobs. They're all going on EI because they got to do something. They got to survive. And there's no other work here for the most part. So, you know, you got to do something. So they all go on EI. That's a huge drain on society again. And then all of a sudden, well, things haven't improved around here. Actually, things have gotten worse. So all these Billy Joe Bobs run out of EI. Some of them can't even get welfare. So what do? They do what they have to do. You know, they do what they do to survive, like most people will, and they'll do something. They'll do, you know, they'll resort to crime, selling drugs, you know, you name it. That's what'll end up happening. It'll have to, because, you know, people gotta live, and unfortunately, when you got no other means, you'll do whatever the fuck is necessary to keep your ass alive. At least most people will. I know I would. I mean, you know, I try to be a very good person, and, you know, I live by morals, not laws, but at the same time, if, you know, if I'm hungry enough, I'll steal if I have to, you know. I did years ago when I was in desperate times. I had to do it once or twice. I'd do it again if I had to, but I'd have to. Not that I'd want to, but I'd have to. And that's the big difference, is having to. But I don't know. It's, you know, the monkeys in charge around here already got their say in, so probably this is already going to happen. They're having public consultations now, which I may go to one just for the hell of it, which is scary, but yeah, they're doing the public consultations, so that means that it's already in the works, and that probably means once they're done talking to the people, the contract will be awarded. I'm sure that they already have a company lined up who's going to do it, and they got all their ducks in a row that way because, you know, of course they want to get out of the business of the roads. I mean, you know, if you look at the government as a business, then, you know, it makes perfect business sense to stop working the roads and, you know, have other companies and people maintaining and dealing with the roads. That frees up a whole bunch of other shit for you. But you know what? Government isn't business. I heard a lot of people saying that about Trump, that he's going to be good because he's a business-orientated, or whatever, president. Well, except one problem. Government is not business. A lot of people think that it's the same thing, but it isn't. It's different. There's a lot more social aspects. The PR and HR departments, when it comes to government, are a whole different ballgame than any other regular business. I mean, their business is a huge aspect of government. It probably is the main aspect of government, but it's still not the only aspect of government. You catch my drift? Anyways, guys, it's lunchtime. I'm rambling, as I always do. Hope you enjoyed this. If you did, you know what to do. Hopefully, I get a little better at making videos someday, but probably not, because I make shitty videos. That's what I've always done. I've done it for like, what, 8 years now. Hard to believe I started way back in 2009. But anyways, guys, peace. Talk to you after. Well, as you can see, I actually got the tracker inside the garage. Well, there's a strange animal coming in my house. My garage, actually. He was just whining out at the door. I thought he was going to go pee. Anyways, yeah, so here's my tracker. Check this shit out. As you saw probably in one of the last videos there, I did have it running. But I have a sneaky suspicion that it might need some work on the fuel pump. Here's a good under the engine shot. My hammer's still there. I should disconnect that battery for now. But yeah, she's the old tracker. I don't even know. It's electronic fuel injection, but that's like the old school throttle body injection by the looks of it. But that's cool. I don't really care. It's the old 8 valve, so worst case scenario, if the timing belt snaps, it's no biggie. She ain't gonna have any interference, so to speak. Huh. 1.6 liter Suzuki. It's interesting. This has Suzuki stuff on it. She says she's a tracker on the side and on the front. I don't know. This is when these were fairly new, so this is a 1990. So I don't know. Maybe it's just the double branding, but yeah. So here is my fuel pump, or well, my sending unit and fuel pump. Ew! Look at that. Ew. You can see, it's actually, the sending unit is somewhat solid, except for these lines up here, which I might be able to make something work with. And they go down, like this is your turn line, this is your feed line obviously, this is your supposed to be your rubber line from your pump up to your feed line, and then your, of course, your positive and your negative going up to the that's what I thought, the body of this is actually the negative, so that's kind of neat. But I have another fuel pump, so I'm going to gear that up. But if the sending unit looks like this, you can guess what the tank looks like. So I got to finish this tank and get this one on the go. Except, whoa, I know I got a hood on for a change. But yeah, so me being the me I am, what the fuck is on my screen? Oh, I see dust. I see it. I see crud on my screen. Yeah, it's a little better, isn't it? But yeah, so I know I need a lot of parts for this thing. So what did I do? Well, I haven't done it yet, but I'm going to go ahead and get another tracker. There's one at work. It's in really bad shape. A little worse than this, I think, in ways, but it's $150. I can't go wrong. Between the two of them, you know, I'll be able to have a good rig for sure. But one other thing I wanted to show you. Okay, I'll try this again, even though my body seems to be fighting me with this. So, one of the coolest parts about this tracker, do you notice it yet? Have you noticed it yet? Have you? What's going on here? This is a 2-door tracker, hardtop, not convertible. The rear hatch top does not come off. It's got its own type of hatch. I don't know how many of you guys, you know, it depends how well you know trackers. Some of you younger guys might not even know them all that well. But this is a very rare model of the tracker. It's the 2-door non-convertible version, which if you look at any videos pretty much, or anything on trackers, they're, you know, unless they're 4 doors, they're 2-door convertibles. I very rarely have seen, I've seen about 3 of these for sale in my life, so, and this is one of them. So yeah, it's pretty odd. But I'll leave you with a little view of the Cancer. Yeah, she's rough, really rough. I'm gonna have to cut the whole floor off back here and rebuild it and stuff. But you know what? It's not a showpiece as long as I can get it together. It will drive. Sorry, I got an itch. It'll drive and it'll get me where I need to go. Maybe. Anyways, I gotta go. It's lunchtime and I got a lot going on here. So I hope you guys like the video. Hope you guys like the trackers. If you got any experience with a tracker, let me know. I always love to shoot the shit. I love to shit the shoot about trackers. You know, I think they're hilarious little rigs, and you know, they're even funner when you actually build them up a little bit, because they're actually very capable, sometimes more capable than anything else. But anyways, guys, thanks a lot again, and tune in next time for some more Ghetto Hillbilly 1. Yeah!